Welcome back, everyone. I have a passion for etiquette. In fact, I gathered my passion at 3 years old when I asked for a breakable tea set, and I got the tea set. One of my aunties has 5 china cabinets, and I stood in front of them as a child, just oohing and awing over the beauty of these magical things that she had. My mother was not interested in those kinds of things, but thank goodness I had someone that adored china and crystal. So over the years, and I have been almost 40 years in the etiquette and image business all over the world, I have gathered all these lovely treasures and I use them every day. You may not have these things, but if you find that you like them, you can pick them up at many different places all over the world. And antique shows are a great choice, such as this is where I got my beautiful silver teacups and coffee and tea. So let's start with the coffee. A coffee pot is always tall and slim, like this. And you always hold the lid when you pour. And the teapot is short and stout, and then you hold the lid as well. Now this is an attached lid, but you want to do the holding of the lid as well. If you have a china coffee cup, coffee pot, and a tea pot, then I recommend that you heat the water to almost boiling, and then with a knife, I would put the knife into the empty coffee pot, and then pour just a small amount of hot water. The knife makes sure that you never will break your tea or coffee pot. So that's a good test for that, and it works beautifully. So with this, I would put coffee in this and the tea in this. So then we have a few other things on this beautiful tray, which I had to have. We have the cream for the coffee and pouring it like this. And then we have something that would be for sugar, and it has a lid on it. And you can have something like this if you have sugar cubes. It's just a tiny little, almost like 2 forks together, and you could have that to get the sugar cubes. Now this would need to be one size bigger for this size, but be assured I have a smaller sugar cup to use this size. Now over here is a marvelous item that I just had to have as well. And in here I might put sugar cubes, and then I might use something like this if that's what people like. So for example, I'll see people ripping it open, popping it in there, and then doing all of this, and then wrinkling it and setting it on the saucer of the cup. That's absolutely unacceptable. So you would not do that. Now we have several different kinds of spoons, and the spoon size relates to the size of the cup. So when you are using your cup, you don't ever blow on your tea or coffee, and you don't bring it up like this. You leave the saucer on the table and you bring it up like this. Ideally, if you're looking at someone, you don't want them to see the underside of your cup, so you would tip it to the side like this. You never blow on your tea or coffee. That's considered very rude. And this size of a spoon would be about the correct size for this cup. Now, no noises like this. It's very, very quiet. And then when you finish stirring your milk into your cup of tea or coffee, you can set the spoon on the saucer, and then you bring it up like this. Now I have other spoons in sizes like this, and it's going to depend on the size of the cup that you have. You'll notice how this is such a beautiful element I had to have a set of this as well. And this goes nicely with my Versace china, and so does this. But it all depends on the size of the cups you're using in order to be able to align them with the size. So this is going to be appropriate as well. And all of these wonderful things are part of the elegance. So I recommend that you gain and learn some manners that go along and align with your great education. If you know these kinds of things, you'll be invited to fabulous parties, and it's better to learn now. Many parents have no idea about all these lovely things, so how will they be able to teach their children? They can't. And that's why I usually work with corporate people first, and then they beg me to work with their teenagers or their younger children. So if the parents don't know, how can they possibly teach? So globally working for 3.5 decades, I've had so much pleasure with all these lovely things, and I love sharing my knowledge with people from all over the world. I'd be simply delighted to work with you.